Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Nifty Podcast. Tuesday, February 6th. We do this show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern time. Lots to talk about today, so we are going to get right into it. Today, we are going to discuss Solana's outage. So this is the biggest story, I think, probably in all of crypto at this moment. I think that would be fair to say. So we have to definitively discuss it. We are also going to talk about the upcoming Dimension token launch that's happening today. Don't remind me. That's the DIM token, DYM. And we'll be joined by a very special guest, someone that I don't believe has ever been on this show somehow. Somehow we have never had him on the show before. DeeZe. Very, very well-known NFT collector, speculator, OG. He's going to come on in about 25 minutes to talk about all things NFTs, crypto, and more. And also, do not forget that, funny enough, we have a special. We've never done this before. We've literally never done this before, where we're going to be actually conducting an interview outside of this show, and it will be live streamed. So if you do want to watch it live, you can watch it live. But we'll also take the video clip and we'll chop it together. We'll make a little edit and we'll show maybe a little bit of a highlight reel on the show tomorrow. So no one, don't cancel plans if you can't, make it at 1 p.m. Eastern today. But we're going to be interviewing the gentleman that's never going to die. The gentleman that bought Venmo in 2014 or 2013 and ended up, just like someone might buy a house and fix it up and flip it a year later, he bought Venmo, fixed it up, and flipped it to PayPal for $800 million. Brian Johnson himself. I also believe he might be the first billionaire we've ever interviewed on the show. Going to be a really good time. Great sense of humor that guy has. So we'll have to see what he has to say about his entrance to crypto through Drip House. And of course, the fact that this guy knows payment processing, he knows financial systems, given the fact that he literally, again, bought Venmo, made it better, and sold it to PayPal. So I'm going to be very interested to hear what his, impression is of crypto. Partnership for today is with none other than, of course, Shrapnel, one of our favorite partners, if not our favorite partner, the official gaming partner of Bodogos. Their STX1 event is coming this Thursday, 2 days from now, February 8th, which is the Shrapnel training exercise part 1, and it features 100 grand, 100 big ones in Shrap token up for grabs to the top leaderboard participants. In order to participate, you'll need an extraction pack, and you can get 30% off of an extraction pack if you go to the nifty.com/shrapnel. That's THENIFTY.com/shrapnel, and you can use the promotional code NIFTY, NIFTY. We're also going to be giving away an operator. I mean, I love this. I love the amount of stuff that we're giving away. We have 100 physical items that we're going to be giving away soon too, but I love this. We're giving away a digital item, an operator, which is worth $450. If you're on Twitter right now, you can see the pinned tweet attached to this space to enter that giveaway. Shrapnel loves giving away things, and I think that that's a great strategy. I also love this $100,000 bounty in Shrap token for people that are just kicking ass in the game. Signal is not going to be available today, so easy. I know you're probably in a down mood because Solana's down, but can you rock this weather report for us?
Absolutely, P.O. It's a load of fun today seeing Solana just, in a tough situation. But do we got some music? We do. We got to tune in with the music here.
When are they rebooting?
We're at 60%, Nick, so we got another 20% to go. It's time to dive into the weather.
20%? How is 60 plus 20 100?
It's not. 80% it restarts. Do you know anything about the chain?
Well, clearly not that part, because most chains don't go down.
He's a wartime holder. He's literally only when. Well, this is wartime for Solana, so I would think
good thing the sergeant is not on video for this too. When we need him most, he vanished.
I'm about to be on, okay?
When we needed him most, he vanished. I'm just saying. It's cool. So as I take a look right now, ETH market volume's at $21.1 million. Solana market volume $7.55 million. But over the last 4 hours, it's had an alarming $0 in volume. NFT market leaders, Pudgy Penguins, are down 5%. DeeGods are up 5% to 3.1 ETH. Bitcoin puppets are up 16% to 0.074. Shout out Clemente and Bunny just fading the hell out of those, while me and Nick were advocates for the project. RSIC runes are up 15% to 0.092 BTC. Solana network has gone down for the first time in almost a year. We will skip over that headline. 5:22 a.m. Eastern time this morning, it went down. No specific reason has been given for the outage other than a bug, but a software release has been prepared. Currently, Solana is only down 4% because nobody can sell the token.
Well, they can sell it on centralized exchanges.
Yeah, you keep saying that, and I just don't understand where you're coming up with that
the running
statement.
joke. It's just a running joke, like you can sell it.
It's a joke that no one's laughing at.
It's hilarious because you're not on the show. As a sergeant of Solana, you're doing an awfully terrible job, Nick.
I'm on the show right now. Okay,
that is true though. He is on the show.
I'll see. Over on airdrops, Dimensions is the next token to go live with the launch happening today at 10 a.m. Eastern time. DYM is going to be listed on Binance right away and is trading at $4 a token in pre-market, which implies a $4 billion fully diluted market cap and a whopping $7,000 airdrop for each Pudgy Penguin as they received an allocation of 1,760 tokens. Over on Ordinals, Quantum Cats have successfully minted out their collection for 0.1 BTC, raising 12 million as the 300 cats. There was only 300.
They're 300 for public. I tried it. It was tough out there.
Yeah, where's the confidence? What happened to yesterday when you were screaming?
Shit. Oh, anyways, weather report.
Who could have possibly seen that coming? With bots buying the majority of the cats, Quantum Cats are expected to start trading later today, with many estimating a 3x price right out the gate. Lastly, as soon as people failed to mint their Quantum Cats, liquidity rushed over to the RSIC runes in Bitcoin Puppets as they both hit a new all-time high. Bitcoin Puppets ran 20% to 0.077 BTC before pulling back to 0.072, and RSIC runes pumped 18% to 0.094. Back to you in the studio.
Interesting weather report approach, Easy. Thank you for that. Daily Digest. This is our newsletter that's posted to X platform every morning. It's pinned up top. It's emailed to anyone that subscribes at thenifty.com. First story, Doodles shared details for their upcoming G-Shock collab, which includes a debut in Tokyo on February 9th with a $169 price tag. I've bought several G-Shock watches before, ladies and gentlemen. This is not an aggressively priced price tag for a G-Shock. I also really like that it's happening in Tokyo because like the dopest G-Shock collabs that I've seen, at least, I'm not an expert, but I bought a few, are Japanese ones. So I think the ones that I have are made in Japan too. I think this is a pretty cool watch. I know a lot of NFT people were like talking about it as if it's not super cool. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by the Sergeant of Solana on video. He's a wartime soldier right now. He's ready to be participating in defending Solana's network. Let me just get through the rest of this newsletter, Sergeant, before we dive in. Magic Eden announced
a big fan of G-Shock watches. Okay, like, are you also a fan of like little bear toys? You a big fan of the Velveteen Rabbit? Is that what you hang out with in the evening, Pio? Is your Velveteen Rabbit toy? What else are you into? You into He-Man, action figures?
It's a watch. How is it comparable to children's toys?
It's a children's watch.
How is it a children's watch?
Okay, we can continue on.
Magic Eden announced a partnership with Pudgy Penguins featuring Magic Eden as the preferred marketplace for the collection. Very interesting to see there. My Pet Hooligan announced the Car Rat Foundation, which has the goal to empower gaming, entertainment, and AI ecosystems. This is powered by the Car Rat token, or Carrot. Fuck me. Carrot. All right. Sorry, guys. Look, it's not spelled like actual carrot. It's also not spelled like gold carrot. I was like, it was hard to process. That was a little
Carrot.
Yeah, Carrot. Okay, Carrot. My Pet Hooligan holds a 0.68 Ethereum floor. That is a team that's actually building real product in the space. Should mention that. Next story, Yuga Labs teases creator mode for Dookie Dash, allowing users to create custom vehicles, characters, and more, and even sell them in a marketplace. I am very, very excited to see what happens with Dookie Dash Reloaded or Unclogged, I guess that they should, they're calling it. I'm really excited. This is like a big deal in my eyes. So we'll have to see what, people from the gaming world get attracted to G-Shock. To Dookie Dash. Binance co-founder Yi He is offering up a $5 million reward for anyone that can reveal the whistleblower who leaked Binance's Ronin token listing early. So Ronin's getting listed at Binance too. Let's go. Let's go, Ron. Figured that was going to happen. That's awesome.
Can you read that off for us, Pio?
Call him Kicks.
We'll call, yeah, Kicks will come through and he'll give us the translation. He's been studying. Okay, all right. No, we're not doing that, Sarge. Rare Pepe artist Rare Skrilla has spent over 1 Bitcoin to inscribe a variety of one-of-ones onto Bitcoin. Going to be very interesting to see how this Ordinals collection plays out. Good stuff right there. Look, that's the newsletter. Subscribe at thenifty.com. Check it out on X platform every day. That's the Nifty Daily Digest. We got the Sergeant of Solana here defending the line. Easy. Sarge, what do we look at?
Reinforcements. We need reinforcements to reboot the computers. Call in validator reinforcements. I also would like personal validation as well, but the network needs it more right now. Call them in, get them to reboot, install the update. Or roll back the update. Is that what happened? Do we need to roll back the update?
No, they're just pushing an update, and they need all the validators to hop in.
Install the
update. If we stake more SOL easy, will the validators have support?
Yeah, I think that's the best question here. I think we all need to start running our own validators to get this percentage up. So everyone, go grab an old computer, fire up the software.
We need more.
Let's get the network up.
Bunny, you have your hand raised. Any thoughts on the current state of affairs with Solana or the Solana Sergeant's plan of defense?
Oh, no. I was going to say that carrot, C-A-R-R-A-T, actually is the correct spelling if you're using the Queen's English over in Britain.
Literally never tell me about the Queen's English again.
Wow,
Bunny.
that was a throwback, dude. You remember we were discussing that 5 minutes ago, Bunny? Why didn't you just hop in right then and discuss it?
That's my bad, Nick.
Dude, come on, man. We're now on to the Solana situation.
Real quick, friend of the show and a collaborator on the Nifty portal NFT. Fun fact: Grammatic texted me, Drake's dick video crashed Solana. I don't know. I have no other context. That's the only.
Do not search Drake on Twitter.
Oh, I'm so glad this got brought up. Ooh,
Bunny, go.
Do you guys see Drake's penis yet or no?
Is his penis circulating?
Yeah, dude. Nick, search Drake on Twitter, and it should be one of the first things that pops up.
I could not be more excited about this.
So, okay, this has actually nothing to do with Solana, though, right? That was just a joke Grammatic was making.
Yep.
Okay. Well, thank you for the funny joke, Grammatic. It's not that it wasn't exactly jammed into one of the validators. So, okay, got it.
I got my dick stuck in the validator.
All right. Well, the Sergeant is working on what sounds like a personal issue right now, trying to unjam. Never mind. Anyway, how does this compare to previous Solana outages, Easy, in all seriousness? Solana was...
We got to find out if it reboots first, Pio. Then we can do a comparison of the number of hours in which this has been done. But, dude, 6 hours is not a good start. Let me tell you.
It's been down for 6 hours? The whole Solana...
5:52 a.m. So not 6 hours.
Oh, I thought it was 3:52. I apologize.
No, you're on Pacific time, Chief.
Take it easy. Yeah, take it easy there, Apocalypse Now. All right, so Easy. What are we looking at for this outage? And I mean, look, people just kept praising that Solana was not going down despite high activity. NFT Statistics is posting screenshots of the uptime and like everyone's just posting it as like a W, like the uptime and everything. How bad is this actually?
I don't think it's that bad.
It's awful.
Then again, I'm biased for sure. I'm definitely biased. Nick, why is this awful? Let's hear it.
Nobody's gonna use Solana again if we don't get those validator reinforcements.
Thank you for the insights.
I actually don't think that this is a bad thing. But I mean, it's not.
I almost wish it went down during Jupiter though, because then at least we had a reason. That's the toughest part for me is it's
just a regular day.
Yeah.
One of our commenters, Alfalfa, who I think is actually a gentleman from the Discord named Leafs93, I think that's his alter ego, said if Drake's penis can take down Solana, then yours, Sergeant of Solana, might be able to make it rise again.
Reboot. Real quick, in terms of, can we get somebody from Solana over here to talk about this situation. This does not look good. This does not look, but
they're probably busy. And I think their priority,
dude, this is not the war. This is just one battle. And sometimes we lose a battle here or there, but this is just part of life. So a lot of people counting it like they've lost every game. Okay? Like they've lost every battle. In fact, Solana keeps dunking on Ethereum, just dunking on Ethereum. And there's no way that Ethereum has had any chance for just the past few months. It hasn't been able to get a single win. It's been throwing up bricks, just missing shot after shot, while Solana just comes in and body slams the opponent. They've been bruised. They got broken bones. Situation is not looking good over on Ethereum. Yet here comes Solana and loses one battle. It'll be up in a minute. Where do we see those percentages, Easy? And can we post that link live on this show?
Yeah, I'll send the link right here. You mean for the uptime?
We need the link with the
stakewiz.com/restart.
Okay, so this is
/ sorry, before Nick yells at me.
StakeWiz.
That's a very, very professional name for a web platform.
You didn't let me finish saying it. It's stakewiz.com/restart. Right now, we're at 74.468%. Once it's at 80%, it'll restart. Just a regular uptime monitoring system. Let's be honest, though, dude, if the internet goes down, you can't even use Bitcoin. So it's not like it's not like a good reboot once in a while is a bad thing, you know?
Exactly. I'm expecting someone to have to blow on the Bitcoin cartridge and pop it back in there, you know?
Like your Wi-Fi network never went down.
Exactly.
Dude,
right. It's the same thing.
It's the exact same thing. The Wi-Fi network where the validators were. My assumption is that there was probably an attack by Bitcoiners, by lasered-eyed Bitcoiners, to basically come in and say, we need to take down this network because it's bringing on too much attention and traction, and it's detracting from Bitcoin itself. And then what we need to do is send all those ordinal idiots over to Solana where they deserve to be. I'm just telling you what the laser eyes are saying, and this sort of collective initiative that they participated in. But we will not back down. Solana cadets. You won't do it. This is just basic training at this point, dude. We're just making a couple of hours. Dude,
Nick, do you think if we make it through this episode, this battle of Solana being down, that you'll receive a Medal of Honor for your valor?
No, I don't. Gonna be honest. I don't think I'm gonna receive it, even though I deserve it. I was thinking I should be in the streets shooting this, taking this live this morning. This is going to be the new path. So I hope I hope Easy can make it through the weather report when I become a field correspondent, okay? Without just hating. Maybe I needed to take a shower. Maybe I was sleeping in a little bit late because
these days you kind of sleep in every day.
Every day. Every single day.
It's an interesting approach to just basically have a game plan
of recovering from COVID, okay? That was a couple weeks.
That's a good one. The Solana uptime is off. You know, the Solana network's down because of COVID too.
I'm sleeping till my 42nd birthday, which is upcoming here. Okay, I'm an old guy.
I'm interested. It's interesting. It seems like there are new audience members joining the show today to try to dunk on Solana, which is very, very interesting. I think it's pretty fascinating that is like a thing. Anyway, we'll have to see how it plays out. We're getting joined by the one and only DeeZe.
Is that the one you're taking? Is that the only one that, like, give me one comment that someone said and call him out. Name them and shame them.
I don't want.
Bring in the cadets. We're going to show them what's up.
Well, it looks like, Clemente's one by one pulled up the various comments. I guess these folks don't know that the Sergeant of Solana is here, and he does have a firearm. and is ready to just murder anybody that tries to dunk on Solana for its uptime just not being up. Look at this. Well, actually, leave this one up. Leave that one up.
Okay, we're good.
So used for any serious financial infrastructure, you can take it down. This is actually a good point to make. I'm a Bitcoiner, right? I'm literally hosting the Bitcoin show today with
Which
Joe
one's
Consorti.
Visa using, huh?
Exactly. I was going to say, so Bitcoiners aren't as interested in providing like infrastructure for Visa, for example, for payment processing, right? Whereas Solana is an effective blockchain for that because of its transaction speed, the volume of transactions it can handle, blah, 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 low transaction
It's incredibly
fees.
high uptime.
And it's incredibly high uptime. There you go. But I'm just pointing out these things aren't actually the only thing Bitcoin's competitive with is gold. So if you're trying to compare Bitcoin and Solana, it's not like that's like comparing apples and oranges. It's just the gold apple and the Bitcoin apple. Those are the two things that are competing.
This is awful uptime though for even a regular website. Even ours hasn't gone down this much. So I'm gonna be honest. This is like the fact that they can't get their act together is unacceptable.
I picture you yelling in the face of Anatoly as he tries to get the network back up, Nick. You know, a little bit of a
network back up.
Any minute. It's actually any minute. We're sitting at like a 70. What is it now? I think 75%.
It hasn't moved since you sent us that link.
Oh, yes, it did. It was 74.8. It's now 75.1, Nick.
It was at 74.468. Oh, wow.
Refresh the page.
Now
listen, this website was made not with
refresh
React.
The site.
This was not made with React, Nick.
This costume makes you look like you're 40 and 14 at the same time, Nick. I don't know. There's something about it. It's pretty funny.
Thank you. So we're just going to have this page up for the rest of the show. Refresh it every few seconds, Clemente.
I'm seeing serious rage from people over Solana. Solana's 10x in the past year.
We're at 75.5. That's up from 75.1. Let's go.
Solana's 10x really struck a chord with a significant portion of the crypto and NFT community, it does seem, which is actually very bullish. Just how having people triggered, it's almost like how some people love Nick and some people hate Nick. If you have something polarizing, it's certainly bullish. So we'll have to see. Again, Solana does not compete with Bitcoin. Remember that. It's not a proof of work blockchain. It's not the new money. Bitcoin only competes with gold. Well, look, we're going to bring on DeeZe in just a second. Before we bring DeeZe on, I wanted to just quickly touch on the DIM airdrop because I think it's worth mentioning. Easy, how do you view the DIM airdrop compared to, say, the Jupe airdrop that we just
totally
kind
different
of came out of?
kind of things, I guess, is like what I would compare it to. Jupiter was obviously an infrastructure play leading behind like a DEX platform, etc. Dimension is an L2. So like you're basically just getting early tokens in hopes that it's going to drive user participation. They rewarded people from Solana, Say, Sweet, Aptos, and ETH. And then on top of it, some like top collections. So if you guys both, are your Mad Lads out on loans or are you still holding them?
No, I've never, look, I didn't claim the DIM airdrop for my fucking Pudgy or my Mad Lad, and it's going to be a
Pudgy.
You're
little
for the Pudgies, dude.
It's a $10,000 mistake for not clicking a button. I get it.
You have two bigs, don't you?
No, I have one.
Oh, just one. Okay, few. I was going to say.
And a Mad Lad. It doesn't matter if it's few. I didn't get anything. It's because I didn't click a button.
Glass half full. If you had two, it would have been 14 grand. Glass half empty. Only lost 7. Could have been much worse.
How much is the Mad Lad one? 3 grand?
It's not even. I think it's like 1,500, maybe 2.
Regardless,
it still sucks.
It is what it is. I have $200,000 of Pudgy's, Mad Lads, and Solana, so I shouldn't cry too hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but good thing you can't move your Mad Lad or any of the Solana. So basically, you only have Pudgies.
Someone said at least I avoided the taxes. Yeah, that's how it works. You're not gonna have to pay the taxes.
Did Bunny just say something?
I don't think Bunny said anything. When you have the sergeant on the show, ladies and gentlemen, you do have to get out of the way. Anyway, look, we're not going to leave this guy waiting anymore. This guy's an absolute legend. First time that we've had him as a special guest on the show. Not sure why it took so long. We were on his podcast recently. Can't wait to see that video come out because it was shot on really, really cool HD video. I think it'll be the first time me and Nick were on an in-person podcast with that. We have an absolute crypto and NFT OG. This guy is a CryptoPunk holder. This guy gets some of the he gets the utmost respect from the Ethereum collector community of NFT holders and crypto holders alike. Mr. DeeZe.
Hello, soldier.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the show. It's a good-looking Pudgy Penguin. I'm assuming you clicked the button for the dim airdrop.
I clicked the button in like 4 different wallets. I was all over the dim buttons.
I'm not surprised. So the first thing I wanted to talk about, I gave you a little intro there. I'm not big on the whole, tell us about yourself. But the one thing I'd like to know is, so would you consider your livelihood, DeeZe, executing in the markets? Because you mentioned that when you were on the podcast. I know that obviously you're a content creator. You have an affiliation with Rug Radio. You do work in the space. You and Andy, have been in business together. But is your primary livelihood execution in, the crypto market, the NFT market?
Yeah, like over 90% of my yearly income comes from trading wins and losses. Well, I guess it's deducted because of losses. But yeah, my livelihood is directly dependent on how I play the markets.
And how many years have you been functioning that way? Like basically where 90% of your livelihood comes from that?
Oh, that's very recent. That's like a 2021 thing. Before 2021, it was, I'm working this government IT job that I don't particularly like so that I can spend 7 hours a day while I'm on the clock in Discord, Telegram, Twitter, whatever, and research. So yeah, it's a recent thing. Hopefully it stays. It's worked well the last 3 years. Hopefully 2024 works well too.
Well, it's positioning, in my opinion, to be a big year. Obviously, we have a little bit of a hiccup today with the Solana blockchain.
It's unreal, dude. I wake up ready for this, ready to have a good day, and the first thing I see is our bags are so down we can't even sell them.
It's for a couple hours, okay? 76.348 is what we're at, people. We're up from 75.5.
They better have this shit fixed by 10 a.m.
I think they're going to have it fixed by 10-ish. He needed totally to get his act together.
In all seriousness, DeeZe, what's your level of exposure to Solana? I know you have Bodagos. I think you bought like a bunch of Bodagos. And what other NFTs? Do you have Mad Lads? Do you have anything else going on? Claynosaurs? Anything else on the Tensorians? Anything on the Solana side?
Yeah, we had a good amount of Tensorians. Obviously, we have the Bodagos. Other than that, recently have been buying some art. Like I bought Arupe Renisto's Smiles. Got a couple constructs that my buddy did. Other than that, not too much. I got a rubber. I got a panda on Solana, but I'm not too heavy in the Solana NFTs. I'd say over 30% of my liquid crypto portfolio is in spot Solana though. So I am fairly exposed to it, and I'm just the NFTs are a lot harder for me to play. Like, Bodagos under 2 SOL were a no-brainer. Tensorians felt like a no-brainer at 30 SOL back in the day, and then I haven't really seen too many other opportunities that are like, oh yeah, this is a fucking like underhanded layup. So yeah, I'm just kind of waiting for another opportunity to come up. While I'm more into the watching these art crossovers happen recently, seeing a lot of people come from ETH and other ecosystems to Solana, kind of watching that, but not taking any big positions and just kind of chilling.
Well, I was going to that was one of my questions, is like the migration from ETH to Solana. I wrote that yesterday before this, the Solana being down. So I'm like, my question was going to be, do you predict that a lot of NFT activity will actually move from Ethereum to Solana because of the kind of user interface of Solana, how easy it is to use, the great wallets that you can use on Solana, the good marketplaces, XYZ. I don't know if your response to that question will be different now that Solana is down today, and the crypto community that did not buy Solana and apparently is really angry and harboring resentment about the 10X is coming out of the woodwork to dunk on the Solana ecosystem broadly. But yeah, I'd love to know your thoughts on that.
Yeah, well, we hadn't been down for almost a year until today, right? Like I think last time we went down was like last February. Maybe I'm misremembering.
Easy with
336 days ago, DeeZe.
Wow. Almost a full 365.
20 days shy of a full year.
We almost did it. Well, there was a long time this year, like the last 3 months, where people would bitch about Solana going down, and I would respond with, hey, it actually hasn't been down in almost a year. Now I can't say that. Now I need to go back and be like, hey, it was down yesterday.
It hasn't been down in 24 hours.
I think the Solana NFT ecosystem will thrive more for artists on the lower end than the higher end. Like, I don't see a reason if you're selling for 1+ Ethereum to really migrate over, but I do see a reason when you're selling 10, 20, 50, $100 editions to move over. Just with the gas fees alone, it makes a lot of sense. I think there's still some lendiness to Ethereum that people value, and I don't think that's going to go away just because Solana is getting more hype. But I think for the lower end stuff, it makes way too much sense. It kind of, in my head, is significantly better Tezos that I think will last a longer time in terms of user experience and stuff. So I'll be looking out more for the low end stuff. Like, oh, I pick up this edition for $10 or $25 and see what happens.
And you said that over 70% of your crypto portfolios in like fungible token portfolios in Solana itself?
30%.
Oh, 30%. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Still a big allocation.
Yeah, it's bigger than my liquid Ethereum allocation and my liquid Bitcoin allocation. So
you say that's about $40 million?
No, it's not enough. It's not enough to live comfortably off of the staked yield. So we need to get that number up a little bit.
Oh, is that the D's key metric? You just want to be able to live off the staked yield?
I mean, if we can make, 150 grand a year off stake yield and not have to worry about too much else, like, I'm not going to complain. We're not quite there, but that's kind of the number in my head of, oh, wouldn't that be nice if? But you can't really model out the yield because of how volatile the prices are. Like, when you're modeling out the yield at $10 the Solana, it looks vastly different, and it's hard to predict. Like, oh yeah, this is just gonna 10x, and I'm not gonna need to work this year.
Quick update: we're at 77.8%.
We're so close.
Anatoly, we need you to
save us.
Increase the reboot. All right.
There you go. There you go. So DeeZe, so what made you allocate so much to Solana versus Ethereum and Bitcoin? And then I do want to talk about other fungible tokens before we talk about the NFT market itself and kind of the way that you're playing that going into this cycle. We're still pre-Bitcoin halving, so still very early in this cycle. But yeah, what kind of made you allocate so much to Solana?
It was just risk reward. Back in November, it was kind of clear, at least from the conversations I was having, that more interesting stuff was going on in the Solana ecosystem than I was really paying attention to over the last couple of months. There were people I respect in my circles who were like, one of my best friends was like, hey, I just put 80% plus my net worth into Solana. And that was like kind of like a thing where I like looked at, no, I didn't look at him because we're not at the same place, but I like took my head sideways and thought about it. And I was like, yeah, that might be right. Like, what can Ethereum really do here at, the mid 1,000 range versus what can Solana do here under $30? But I kept buying all the way up. So like my average buy-in on this bag is like well over $50. Like I didn't pack this whole thing when it was under 30. I started buying and slowly kept adding as the thesis was being played out in real time. But yeah, I don't have a sell. Like I should have probably sold some when it went to 120, whatever, because that was a ridiculous trade in hindsight. But I'm just gonna hold it for a longer amount of time and see how this cycle plays out. Positioning wise, though, last cycle a lot of us did very well denominating our portfolio in ETH. There was this idea that ETH BTC was going to keep going up, and that why would I denominate in Bitcoin when I could denominate in ETH? And I think that's going to outperform Bitcoin. This cycle feels a little different. I think Ordinals were one of the first things that made me rethink the ETH versus Bitcoin narrative, at least so much to say that like, oh, there's this upside now in Bitcoin that I just never thought would be there, in the sense that they can have this NFT component to them, for lack of better terms. I know Ordinals aren't exactly NFTs, but yeah. So with that in mind, it's like, okay, I don't really want to denominate my portfolio in ETH. What do I think could be like the ETH of this cycle? And really 60 IQ. It's like the first thing that comes to mind is Solana. Kind of had this cleansing narrative of this FTX background, and then Sam going to jail, and then after that, it's like, oh, the witch is dead. we can enjoy the chain without the FUD, maybe. So it's kind of obvious to me that, and I had used, like, I don't want to act like I didn't pay any attention to Solana until 2023. I was minting a whole bunch of dog shit on Solana back in the summer of 2021, most of which is completely worthless now. But I had been using the chain, was familiar with it. Like, I know the UX is good. I think a lot of people, even to this day, still haven't actually used Solana, which is surprising. But yeah, it was just kind of a no-brainer of like, okay, if I'm going to try to make as much money as possible, what base, L1 currency can I focus on stacking other than Bitcoin?
And what about Ethereum potentially getting an ETF this year? And when we had James Seyfert on the show from Bloomberg, he declared that it was a borderline impossibility for Solana to get an ETF this year, much more realistic for it to happen in the future if it ever happens. So he thinks that Ethereum would be the next ETF that gets approved, and that actually will happen this year. We obviously saw Larry Fink of BlackRock start beating the Ethereum ETF drum seemingly as soon as the Bitcoin ETF was approved. And then beyond that, all of the things that are, it seems like, starting to get built on Ethereum. How do you factor that stuff in on the Ethereum side?
Yeah, I mean, I should caveat this with saying, sadly, or not sadly, but stupidly, my biggest percent of my net worth is Ethereum NFTs. So if Ethereum does well, I assume the NFTs I hold on Ethereum will do even better. And that's great. But I wanted to stack tokens that weren't also, in the ecosystem of my biggest chunk of my net worth.
Yeah.
So I should say that, I'm still very bullish on ETH, but I think if you're going to hold liquid tokens, the risk-adjusted reward of Solana feels better. So if this Ethereum ETF is passed this year, I still think that is, borderline more bullish for Solana, because the flows that'll come from people making money off ETH and going out into the risk curve will flow into Solana. So I do think the ETH, Jesus Christ, the ETH ETF, that's such a weird grouping of words to say, but the ETH ETF is a very, positive catalyst that I'm excited about, but I think that will flow into other parts of the ecosystem. Like, we've seen the Bitcoin ETF narrative really come into play. Bitcoin hasn't even doubled in price since September, but a lot of other shit has gone up a lot more since September. And just having the majors doing well is a net benefit for all the shit coins in the space. And if you see people make money off Bitcoin and ETH, like, I think that just flows into things out on the risk curve. So I'd rather be out on the risk curve early and maybe deal with some early drawdown versus the majors. And then, there's going to be a point in time, I think, where things rip 25% a day or 30% a day, and then you make up all those losses in like 1 or 2 days of positive price action.
Yeah, and I mean, we had someone on the Bitcoin show, Fred Krueger, talking about the violent moves to the upside of Bitcoin, how in a calendar year, Bitcoin only actually really goes up in price in any significant way, like 10 to 15 days out of the entire year, if that. It's actually maybe less. And the rest of the year, it's either going sideways or literally going down. And so it kind of gives a lot of merit to the hodl mentality of just holding a lot of these assets. You mentioned that you're holding the majority of your net worth in Ethereum NFTs, which I think a lot of people would consider a very risky approach. Obviously, friend of the show and panelist on the show that you also know, Spencer of Spencer Ventures, he has fungible tokens in his fund, but ultimately the majority of the fund seems to be in NFTs. So he's practicing a similar, high risk, high reward approach that you are. You're sporting a Pudgy Penguin right now. We know that you have a CryptoPunk as your profile picture, so I'm assuming you have punks and Pudgies. What other Ethereum NFTs do you have?
It's a bunch of squiggles I minted, a bunch of art blocks I got for pretty cheap. Sam Spratt skull that I paid a bit more for, Jack Butcher ecosystem stuff, whether it's the checks elements or whatnot. And other than that, just a bunch of art that I have marked to 0. So most of my net worth is in the punks, the squiggles, the art blocks, and checks, Sam Spratt. Every other
Pudgies?
thing, yeah. I mean, I only have one Pudgy, and like I don't have over 20 ETH worth of Pudgy ecosystem stuff. So And I bought it at 5 ETH last year. We had like Luca up on his space, and it was like, holy shit, why do I not have a Pudgy right now? Just buy this fucker. Bought this one because it wasn't a floor, and I sold a top hat punk. So this was kind of the spiritual successor in a way to having a top hat punk. It's like, okay, well, I don't have my top hat punk anymore. Let me buy a top hat Pudgy. And it's kind of like he migrated his demeanor over to this guy. So most of the bet is punks, squiggles, art blocks, Jack Butcher, Sam Spratt. And a lot of it is like, okay, if I sell these squiggles, like, okay, I have some liquid money, I have some tax burden, but I'm never going to be able to go buy the squiggles at the price I got them at. Like, not going to be able to mint them for $30 again. So I'm at the point now with that type of stuff where I'll just take loans on it rather than sell it.
We're at 79.42%.
Oh, we're so fucking close, Nick. Please plug in your computer. You're the last 0.6.
Fire up a validator, Nick. You could bring it back.
What's that?
I said fire up a validator on the computer right now. It could be you as the Solana sergeant who brings it back.
Math doesn't work that way. The more validators that people install right now, the longer.
We're not here for semantics. We're here for Solana, Nick. There's a major difference.
I like that saying. We'll put that on a t-shirt. We're not here for semantics. We're here for Solana. And that'll make people apparently extremely mad. I didn't know about this harbored resentment from the broader crypto
because
space.
Solana was doing so well, the rest of the ecosystem was so angry. It was a hated rally is what it was. And now, dude, people aren't happy.
If you're mad about Solana and happy that it went down right now, you should look at yourself in the mirror and just ask yourself, what's wrong with me? Anyway, DeeZe, question for you about existing NFT projects like you. So you have some of the big ones. You got Fine Art, Sam Spratt. You've got Legacy CryptoPunks. You've got Squiggles, which is a combination of both Legacy and Fine Art on chain, first art block, blah, blah, blah. You have one Pudgy Penguin. I would have thought that you'd have more. Why not add to the Pudgy bag, or why didn't you? I know it's been a big run up now, but before the run up, I guess.
Yeah, at the 5 ETH price point, I actually did buy Rogs and Lil Pudgies. But then some point over the summer, I wanted liquidity for something else, and I just sold them all in the floor bids, which is stupid. And yeah, I mean, I don't have a great reason other than my bias from 2021 on Pudgies was so strong that I never really wanted to touch them. And after talking to Luca for so much, there was just, I could not let that go longer. Like I spent 5 hours talking to Luke on Spaces, and it's like, why do I not have at least one of these? And it really sealed it for me when I can use it as this avatar in hologram, because before I was using my lady from the Remilio vault.
Yep.
And that was a very polarizing PFP. Like people were offended sometimes. I would go into a Google Meet as the my lady, and people were like, yo, like, are you good? Are you trolling us? And I'm like, it's just a PFP. Like it's not that deep. So the Pudgy never gets any of those questions. Like everybody fucks with the Pudgy. Everyone's happy to see it. They laugh. I should have bought more. I mean, it was just really stupid. I have a really hard time buying a PFP for 5 ETH, let alone like multiple of them. Most of my big wins in this space come from buying something that's almost free that people hate or don't like at all.
Like Bitcoin puppets.
Oh, Bitcoin puppets. Perfect example. I bought 25 of them or something under $1,000 because it was just very clear to me that these are the dumbest and most hilarious project I've seen.
And to add to that, DeeZe, the reason that I should have bought them, because I saw immediately, is that I know that a bunch of angry Bitcoin maxis that didn't pay any attention to the NFT space at all, because quote, NFTs are dumb. So they never got the scouting report. They weren't prepared. They would see that. They would say, this art is bad. This is dumb. And they don't know that in the NFT space, in the crypto space, if that's the narrative, it's going to pump because it's such a rebellious space. So there's rebellion from people with liquidity. Like, oh, you're saying this is dumb? Cool. Let's send it up 10x. Literally.
The hated rally.
The hated rally. They didn't get the memo. They didn't pay attention. They were too busy not doing anything.
Well, I tweeted them the day they came out, or the first day I saw them. I think it was January 4th. And I tweeted, what was the first word that comes to mind when you see a Bitcoin puppet? And the responses are exactly what you would expect. It's like, my lady, redacted, Fiverr art, children. paint.
Children.
Like, just dumb shit. So it made me really bullish. I was like, all right, most people are writing these off immediately. I wanted to write these off immediately about 30 minutes ago before I tweeted about them. Now that I'm seeing people react to them, I got started. Yeah, like once you realize like some of the traits, the Mog glasses, for example.
So,
yeah, and then
That's a
I
good trait.
asked, I'm very bothered that the liquid around this puppet's mouth doesn't match any of the 3 flavors on the ice cream cone. And then the artist chimed in and said it was a mistake, and that there was no further connotation being given by that piece of art. So,
whoops. Go fuck yourself.
I was just like, man, it's really weird that the colors are all different on the ice cream cone than what's on his face. But the artist, it turns out, you know, he had another project before this called Opium. It came out back in March of 2023. He already had a Discord server community fucking around with his memes. You know, he already had this small community of people who fucked with him for his art. And it wasn't like, oh, hey, this is some person nobody knows just dropping some bullshit trying to capture the hype. It was much more of a, hey, look at this guy who's been messing around in Ordinals for the better part of the last year, who's built a community, who now put out a 10K PFP project for basically free. And when something's free and people hate it, like I'm always
it's
down
so
to,
bullish, dude.
to
I mean,
gamble on it. And
yeah.
I know it sounds like it's like, oh, free. It's like it was still $500, $600, $800 per puppet. And if that was priced in Ethereum, maybe people would not fuck with them. But since it's priced at 0.013 Bitcoin, you're like, okay, well, that feels free enough. And yeah, it's been really fun to watch them go. I should say, like, full disclosure, I sold 5 of them in the last few days just to get my cost basis back because the price went up so much. But
yeah, I'm
still holding 20 or 22 of them or something like that.
I mean, it's hilarious. Like I said, the Bitcoin maxis for sure did not get the scouting report because, quote, NFTs are dumb and unimportant. And then they totally missed the scouting report on how something like that would operate. I'm curious. So you don't have any DeeGods. You don't have any mutant apes. Do you have any like Bored Ape Yacht Club ecosystem stuff?
If you don't count punks, then I think the only Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT I own is a Coda that I got from the other side mint. That I've been holding. I'm not doing anything with it. I feel like I need to stake it on some fucking land and extract resources. And there's a whole thing I should be doing, but no, it's just sitting in the bottom of a wallet collecting dust.
Quick update. We're at 79.92%.
Oh, one away.
Easy. What is the trade that we need to make the moment that this goes back online?
All right, so you're going to trade, since Solana is so quick, you're going to short with 1,000x leverage immediately when the chain opens up. But don't even blink. Immediately take profit and then 1,000x long.
Everyone's going to dump.
Well, I don't even understand what you all are saying makes no sense.
You asked for the trade, Nick. We gave you the trade and now you don't want to take the trade. All right. So do you want the trade or do you not want the trade?
What do you mean everybody's going to dump? It's not like they can't trade Solana right now.
So, well, I actually am. I think this is very fun. How low do we think this bad boy goes? $10?
What is it? $93 right now?
Yeah, down to 10.
Yeah, I think it's gonna go all the way down to like 92.80, probably.
What's like? I want to see what the worst case scenario is right now.
It's not gonna dump, dude. Like you're not gonna see a god candle to
Satan's
asshole here.
I want a
like,
Satan candle. I want a fucking Satan candle.
Imagine if you held through this and then you just fucking wait for it to come online and dump. Like, what type of just weak energy is that?
Like, dude, I bought it at $8.63, and you think I'm sitting here ecstatic to dump on this outage? Like, I'm like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, today's the day to take the 10x.
You know, but the people who trade Solana meme coins all day long for 6 cents profits, I think those people are losing their minds right now.
What are they going to do?
I think
sell all of their
they don't have a lot of money.
Cumulative 5 figures. Like, they're not going to move the price.
They don't have a lot of money. Like, I'll tell you right now, I got 100 G's of Solana. I'm not selling any of it. I might sell it just to make it dump because I think this is a lot of fun. No, I'm just kidding. But if you're in the comments right now and you're saying it's going to dump, write a price prediction. I'd love to. And if you get it right, within $1, we'll give you like a t-shirt or something.
It's got to be less than $1. If you get it right within 10 cents.
Okay.
$1 is a massive range on Sol. Like that's a
Look-
1%
Look at this guy bringing up Chamath and he's like, Chamath and Company bought it at pennies. I feel like this is a joke. That was actually probably a joke. That was pretty funny for sure. That's pretty funny. That's actually wicked funny. Shout out to the guy that made the Chamath comment. That's wicked funny.
This whole thing, this is ridiculous, dude. If someone wanted to
$86, that's realistic.
they already sold. No, it's not going to 86.
I hope it goes to 40. It'll give us something to talk about.
But
I'm still in the black at 40. Like,
but
let's go.
do you still believe? Yeah, you may be in the black, but not on your most recent buys. But the
My average cost is $35 on over $100,000 of Solana.
my average cost is 36 on $200,000 of Solana. But I still lose a fuck ton of money.
Oh, there we go.
That was pretty good. I mean, it's going to be that 200,000 is going to be.
Oh, it went to 0.
I'm just saying, Solana's done, bro. It's over. All right. So
There's
Clemente?
no price action that's being impacted the moment that this network is back up.
79.920%. We need
It's
like
been
a
just
single
fucking
validator.
79.92.
all right.
I gotta go put my junk in the validators real quick to turn this baby back on. Give 'em a little boost of energy.
I love how the consensus solution is for Nick to insert his penis into a Solana validator. I don't even know, like, what are we talking about here? Is he going to a server room and just being like, yo, open it up, Chuck? I got some work to do over here. What are we even talking about here?
I think that's why Solana went down in the first place.
Was
If you
because
think
it was
from an order of
a little
operations perspective, he went in the server room first,
Right.
did that, and then we've been down since. That's what happened at night while we were sleeping.
Some sicko Solana, staking employee just had a time with one of the validators. This is bullshit. All right. So anyway, this thing's about to get to 80%. The fun thing is that when it hits 80%, it's going to go down 80% to $20, and that's going to be pretty damn fun. Clemente, you have a question?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you these shifting a little bit about Blast, how you're approaching that launch in the basically in 3 weeks. The mainnet's going live. People are going to be able to withdraw. It has $1.3 billion in liquidity, over 100,000 wallets. So I'm curious how, if you have any ETH sent over there. I know you've tweeted a couple times about how it's basically going to be another airdrop farming by the same person who's been airdrop farming and with all those incentives. I'm just curious how you're navigating or viewing that scenario overall.
Yeah, I don't have any liquid ETH sent over into the Blast Bridge. I do have some Blur tokens getting rewarded.
Staked Blur.
Yeah, the staked Blur. As most people know, I was a Blur angel investor, but I'm not a Blast angel investor. So I get these monthly unlocks of the Blur tokens, and I'm just sending them over to stake right now because it feels like a decent play. I'm kind of waiting to see how the unlock goes and how that liquidity flows. I think there's probably going to be some interesting apps on Blast on launch. It feels like they've had, at least from some of the conversations I've had with people doing things, some interesting things cooking up there. So I'll be looking to try to use some of those apps immediately and mess around. Like I'll bridge some money over and fuck around. I think I'm really curious to see how the FDV of Blast looks upon launch. I think when Blast opened up in November, the landscape was drastically different than it is now. I think we've kind of seen Optimism, Arbitrum, more of these other big L2 tokens really move since November, December. Optimism's up double, or Arbitrum's definitely up double. Optimism, I think, is up over double. So maybe we'll see a little bit of fireworks with the Blast token. I don't think what Blast is built is relative to Arbitrum or Optimism. Like, let me say that full stop. But I do think that a rising tide lifts all ships, and that if Optimism and Arbitrum are valued more than they were when Blast came out, then maybe some of those Blast guesses of to what they would be valued at are a little low. So I'll be looking to use the apps. I'll be looking to see where liquidity flows from there. I don't think I've seen this happen sometimes where people say like, oh, this Blast is going to be so bullish for my bags, whether it's NFTs or shit coins, because people are going to take money out of Blast and put it into my bags. I don't know if that'll be the case. Like, I don't know if we're going to have just a giant billion-plus liquidity injection into the broader ecosystem. Wouldn't be surprised if some of that gets repurposed into just new Blast app farming opportunities. Feels to me like that capital is not the type of capital that's going to come in and sweep 50 pudgies. But we'll see. I mean, if that happens, I am completely happy and open for it, but I'm not making any trades thinking like, oh, this massive liquidity injection from Blast is going to go into whatever shit I buy today.
I'm thinking the same way as you, DeeZe, and I think it's wild that people would even try to spin that narrative. Like, what people should be thinking about is like when Bitcoin crosses $125,000, all the attention that the broader crypto space is going to have from Wall Street and retail. That's what gets me up in the morning. That's what gets me interested in, holding NFTs for over a year, holding Solana token for over a year, even though as soon as it goes online right now, it's going to literally go to zero and never come back.
Back online, PO, it's already nuking down from 94.45 to 94.23 immediately.
I mean, dude, this thing is on a fast track to zero. We knew that. And ladies and gentlemen, again, I will send you free merch. Somebody figured out how to buy merch even though the store's not active the other day. Literally forced his way in and placed an order. I was like, get out of here. Gave him a refund.
Solana's back.
The network's restarted.
We have restarted the network.
Wow, DeeZe called into the second, 10 a.m. Eastern time. Well
Send
done.
this thing to zero.
Get the hell out of here.
In all seriousness, if you name within 10 cents, the bottom of the heinous pullback that is inevitable, that's coming today because of this. If you get I'm going to put out my pick. I think it's going to be $4 and 29 cents. $4.
Yeah, there's strong support at $3.87. That's my target.
My guy Ron Wilson said 82.27. He's a bull. I mean, that's a bull right there.
Weirdly confident in the chain.
Wicked confident.
Literally down since 6 a.m. for weirdo.
Wicked confident.
I'm gonna go with 93.87.
I'm sticking with my $4 and 80 cents. But if you do get it within 10 cents, I'm not kidding. Just send a screenshot.
How are we measuring this? Is it the low of the day?
Yeah, well, exactly. The low of the day on the chart, you're going to get a free merch item. I'm not going to promise which one because I have to look at the inventory, but we're going to get you something. And if you live in rural Denmark, it might not be a heavy item, okay? Because learning about the shipping to these different places has been interesting. Anyway, DeeZe, since we still have you here, last couple questions. When you look at projects like Doodles, Canpie Pandas, there's more that I can name, and I'm not looking for you to king make here. I'm not trying to get you on the show to bless a project.
These transform the floor.
I'm not trying to get you to bless a project here, but I am just curious when you look at the NFT market. Those are some projects that I look at that I find interesting. Even Moonbirds, right? Some of this different stuff. Is there anything that you find interesting there, especially with someone that's actually building something significant like Canpie Pandas and potentially what Doodles could do now that there's new management in town, XYZ? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think, when we talked about my portfolio, just because I'm not particularly heavy in any profile picture doesn't mean I'm not excited on what they're doing. A couple examples that come to mind, obviously Pandas, love what Bags is doing with karate, loves what he's doing with all the MMA content. I think the Overdogs podcast is crushing it.
It really is crushing.
You look at their metrics, it's like maybe I don't want to say number one crypto pod because it's not a crypto pod, but they're
the top 5 MMA pod, which is
yeah,
more
it's
significant.
fucking crazy. And if you've ever spent time with Ice Bags in person, he's a genuinely good dude. You can feel it from his energy. Not to go off on too much of a tangent, but back in early 2021, I flew out to Florida and met him and his family. And it was me, Sobi, and our photographer friend, Jay. We all went over to Ice Bags' place for a few days and hung out. And could really tell back then. That was before. I told him when he took over Pandas, he was stupid. I was like, dude, you're fucking crazy. You're fucking crazy to do this. Why would you do this? But it's been shocking to see, everything he's done since. Other than them, I'm, really actually pretty heavily allocated to the Forgotten Runes ecosystem. Still have a dozen wizards I minted, still have 24 warriors, have a plot of land in their upcoming game. Pretty big plot of land that I'm excited to build on and play. And I played their demo back in November and really liked it, or their alpha, whatever, closed alpha it was, I think, called. So that was fun. But other than that, I don't like, I have 5 pandas, so it's a decent amount of pandas. Parallel is another one.
So you have 5 pandas. You didn't mention those when those are Ethereum NFTs, right?
Yeah,
There's Solana NFTs too.
Right.
I have the pandas in different wallets, and when I pull up my like portfolio view in any one wallet, they're not at the top. But then when I aggregate them, it's like, oh yeah, they are worth a decent size of money. So yeah, I do have a good amount of pandas. But Parallel is another one. I'm really interested to see where the AI colony stuff lands. Have been playing a bunch of Power World recently. It's kind of driven home this, oh, I really do enjoy playing a game where I have AI agents. Even if my AI agents are really stupid discount Pokemon that don't do what I want them to do 90% of the time, like the concept of, oh, I have these agents working for me and I can just tweak some inputs and let them run, I think is really fun. I'm somebody who spent 8+ hours a day of my life playing video games for the better part of my life from ages 8 to 25. And now I'm at the age where I don't really want to spend 8+ hours of a day playing a video game. And I think that type of AI agent is the natural progression, because I would check it in the morning, check it at night, and let it run and be really into it as long as I don't have to play it. So those are a few I'm excited about and actually holding like decent exposure to. And then I'm not holding any doodles or any really like other blue chip. I have 2 Clone X's still that I refuse to sell, because when I look at them, it just reminds me of the good old days and how things used to be, where you could buy something for 1 ETH and go to bed and wake up and get a 60 ETH gift and then get another 10 ETH gift for holding those 60 ETH gifts. And it's just, I don't know if we'll ever have that again, but I'm going to hold the 2 clones to remind me of what it was.
Fair.
And then when I look through the other top projects, like I'm really checked out. Like I'm not in the meme ecosystem. I don't have the captains. I'm not really diving into Pixelmon. Not really loving the Zuki stuff. Like I'm pretty much looking for shit that's like under $50, and maybe it'll go up a lot in the future rather than, you know, let me buy something for $3,000, $5,000, $8,000 and hope that I can make money on it.
I mean, look, I think it's a very reasonable approach. I'm actually surprised that you're not the high roller I might have guessed that you were when it came to buying these NFTs, but it also makes sense why you've been so successful.
Well, yeah, I'm here to trade the market and try to make money. I'm not really here to like buy a flashy watch and walk around the club and be like, look at my fucking expensive thing. To me, it's way cooler to find something that people ignore or think is stupid or don't understand that is at a really cheap price, and then sell it to them 2 years later for a really expensive price because now they get it. Speaking of that, you know, maybe that terraforms will be something like that. That was a recent, I think I have like half dozen terraforms, so not that many, but just talking to 113D on Spaces and stuff, you get to see somebody who's thinking on a 50+ year time horizon, and you don't understand 50% of what he's even saying because his IQ is 7 standard deviations to the right of yours. And it's just like, yeah, maybe people will get this in years down the line. And if not, I'm in this fun experiment with a bunch of people who are really bought in. So we'll see what the fuck happens.
I mean, I love to hear it. So is the network up and is this thing zero yet?
No, it's actually prices up. Network came back and people are buying.
Price went up.
Dump is over.
Is Solana a functioning network right this second?
Yeah. It's back.
If the price is going up, it's highly functioning.
Dude, I'm disappointed. I actually wanted it to go down to like $60. It would have been significantly more.
Sell off that hard.
Dude, that's the people seem to be thinking that it was going to go that low. That was what I was seeing on Twitter and in the comments. People seem to be thinking that it was really going to go down pretty low. I'm just
Yo,
saying.
we didn't talk quantum cats. Did you guys mint any cats, or are you trying to buy any on the secondary
Clemente.
this afternoon?
Ask Clemente.
Ask what? Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'm buying.
You were weirdly confident yesterday you'd hit one,
Well,
Chief.
I didn't hit the public mint, but right now we're
You could have seen
strategizing.
that coming.
Hey, if this thing goes below 0.3, I'm a goddamn buyer. So watch your mouth. How about that?
Why aren't these?
You got
trading
0.3
yet?
Bitcoin?
No,
That's the bigger
We're splitting it 6 ways. So.
Nick,
Why aren't these trading yet? I don't
Nick,
understand.
only the mint was yesterday. They get
They're
delivered.
sent. They haven't distributed them, so nobody can list them yet.
Nick, Bitcoin, you wouldn't understand. You wanna wait multiple days before you receive your NFTs.
Ignore PL. You know, he's talking a lot of shit recently. I'm not gonna. He's broke. He's like, yo, DeeZe, I didn't know $50 NFTs. Call me when you start buying 11 little pudgies. You know what I'm saying? Calls me broke for not owning quantum. What are we talking about here?
No, well, Quantum Cats. Look, DeeZe, I've gone on this show and gone on record that I think that team, the Taproot Wizards team, I mean, basically, when you kind of look at it, I've been mentally trying to put together what I think the top 10 teams are in NFTs. Spoiler alert, I do genuinely think that we're one, period. Like straight up, I fucking think that we're a top 10 team, period. I think the Pudgy team's in there. I think that the Quantum Cats team, the Taproot Wizards team, is in there for sure. And I mean, I actually was happy to see the technical hiccup, because I'd rather them go through the process of that technical hiccup now before like I mean, honestly, it actually just doesn't even matter, because I think they're going to do some pretty interesting shit on Bitcoin for sure. And they're kind of leading like a little bit of a Bitcoin revolution. I'm not in the market for NFTs that cost a third of a Bitcoin. I'm trying to get to like 10 plus Bitcoin myself. So that's like kind of the way that I'm framing things. But obviously I wish I got a quantum cat for free. Let's put it that way. If I got a quantum cat for free, I'd be pretty pumped, and I would hold it.
Get one?
I was on the allow list, so I got one. Looks pretty clean, not a rare, but not a hard floor. So we'll see how it goes. I was also of a similar mind. I thought maybe they would go under 0.2, but that seems not to be consensus amongst the circles I'm in. So yeah, I'm probably not a buyer at 0.3. I'll probably just hold mine and see what happens. Like I said, I'm much more the guy looking for the cheap shit. But yeah, I'm curious how the liquidity will flow out of R6 and puppets back into cats if cats open up at a low price too. I think that's a definite possibility. Yesterday we saw R6 and puppets catch a bid as soon as the mint ended, because people were like, oh shit, that liquidity that I wanted to use for the cat, I can't buy a cat, so I may as well just buy something else immediately, because why would I hold filthy liquid Bitcoin when I could buy an ordinal with it?
Yeah, exactly.
That's how people think. Like, I could make more Bitcoin by spending my Bitcoin on an ordinal.
Oh yeah, well, this early, I actually think those people are right. I mean, it's pre-Bitcoin halving. I didn't buy my first NFT until post-Bitcoin halving, almost a year after Bitcoin halving last time, right? I bought in February 2021 versus March 2020. What's so funny? We got Shoulder Boy and we got the Bunny guy. What's going on?
When somebody says Bitcoin, Pia, you're like a fucking dog when you ask me, do you want to go outside? And when he's like, it's fucking great, dude.
Hey, Sergeant of Solana, what's going on, Chief?
He's sleeping.
Come back to me later, sir.
What are you doing?
I'd rather not say.
He found the.
What are you doing
on Twitter?
I'm a little concerned.
Drake has them completely.
I was filling in an agreement. If you want to know what I was doing, okay? There was a document that I was updating. Apologies. It was sent my way, and so I decided to fill in the information required.
Okay, that's fine. That's totally cool. DeeZe, any closing thoughts for us, man? We're basically at time at this point. We talked about ordinals. We talked about NFT collections on ETH, and Solana. You did a little bit of king making there. I appreciate that. Any other thoughts on? How about this? We'll close on this. SEI NFTs and SEI the token. What's going on? What's your level of interest?
Yeah, so You would think that I would be very highly interested in this when I just spent all this time talking about trying to find cheap shit that people don't like that I can sell at a higher price.
Yeah.
You're gonna be very disappointed that my answer is that like I have a little bit of say in the fucking Compass wallet and have not bought a single NFT.
Do you want to? Like, do you have an actual interest in purchasing SEI NFTs?
Something that speaks to me, like there's no puppets to say, right? Like I looked at the Saiyans and the sloths and some other shit. But nothing gets me excited. It all just looks like cheap trash. Like and I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm sure the teams are great and that everyone's wonderful people. But like when I look at that for $1,100, I bought puppets cheaper than that, for fuck's sake. Like, and the puppet has soul.
WeBump gets all the like whitelist opportunities on Say. So,
yeah.
like,
So if I see something come out on Say, like Saiyans were the first one that were like kind of cool. Like it was like, okay, this is a play on their ecosystem. It's interesting, whatever. But I still didn't feel very compelled to take to buy 50 of them. Like look at those. Like those look like something I would see in a fucking nightmare. Like that guy is in my nightmare trying to do things to me while I am sleep paralyzed. Like I don't want that in my wallet.
Could those be the puppets of?
No, they're too high effort. Somebody actually cared about this, Bunny.
There's no clock that is at 4:20 time. There's no weed smoking stuff. Like there's no ketamine shirt. Like it looks too
The ice cream matches color wise. Like they didn't fuck it up
ice
enough.
Cream's matching. Like
I have no interest in this.
I kind of like this project.
that looks like some Donnie Darko
You're
shit.
biased,
That's
dude.
why I didn't buy the fluffs. Reminded me of Donnie Darko.
The Fluff World's definitely Donnie Darko vibe.
Right? Like I'm like, man, these people are like insidious and they're trying to fucking do things to me while I'm sleeping. I don't like this.
There seems to be a lot of concern over NFTs approaching you while you're sleeping, DeeZe.
I've had a lot of nightmares, man. You know, you wake up and everything's just at zero and you're like, what the fuck happened? Like, what did I do? Why didn't I sell? So, you have a lot of nightmares about this shit.
Do you not do horror movies?
Not too many. Mrs. Dees loves the horror movies, but I'm more of like a action / thriller than a horror. Like Law-Abiding Citizen, I love that movie. That's like, I think maybe on the cut. It's probably not horror. It's much more
You see Saltburn yet?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
It's supposed to be good. It's with the kid from Killing of a Sacred Deer. We got to check that one out. Maybe we'll watch it and we'll do a reaction stream to it. Anyway, DeeZe, this was a real pleasure. People can find you at Twitter. So you're at DeeZe on Twitter. It used to be at DeeZeFi. You got the just DeeZe handle. That's pretty cool. They should also follow the We Do a Little Pod, which me and Nick had the honor of joining not too long ago. It's hosted by you and Andy. So that's at We Do a Little Pod. Anywhere else we should send people, DeeZe?
No, I think that's perfect. We should have the episode that we did together out by the end of this week. So if you're following me, it'll be pinned to my Twitter account when it goes live. And yeah, I just hope people enjoy it. I think to me, getting the background on everything you guys have done, especially before even entering the space, is just really cool and really puts into perspective what you're building and where I think you guys are going. So I can't wait to share it. And I just want to thank you guys for having me. I know it's been 2 years, probably too long in the making here, but I'm glad that I finally woke up before 9:30 someday and came on and got to hang out with you guys.
Hey, and I appreciate you waking up, and I get it. I get it. Different people have, like some really successful people wake up past 9 because of the way that they structure their day.
I'm on the Tim Ferriss 2 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Exactly.
Like, I'm the guy who's up a little late and then sleeping in most of the mornings. But
yeah, the creativity burst. That's how he was able to come up with Cock Punch.
I create my best AI art between 11 p.m. and 2 a.m. too. So, I mean, I get it.
Yeah, special accomplishment, that cock punch. Anyway, look, ladies and gentlemen, reminder that the show is brought to you in partnership with Shrapnel, the official gaming partner of Bodogos and the Nifty. Their STX1 event is coming this Thursday, February 8th, the Shrapnel Training Exercise Part 1. It features over $100,000 in Shrap token up for grabs to the top leaderboard participants. In order to participate, you will need an extraction pack. You can get 30% off of one at thenifty.com/shrapnel with promo code Nifty. That's thenifty.com/shrapnel, SHRAPNEL, with the promo code Nifty, NIFTY. You can get 30% off an extraction pack, which will qualify you to test your gaming chops against other people competing for 100 grand. I mean, come on. If you're a video game player, do it. Like, try your hand and making money. 100 grand in Shrap token up for grabs. We're also giving away an operator today, which is worth $450 on Twitter right now. So you can check out the pinned tweet to enter. That's pinned on Twitter Spaces. Check it out, and you can be entered for a chance to win the Shrapnel operator asset. Big shout out to DeeZe for joining the show today. One more time, ladies and gentlemen, follow him at DeeZe. That's at DEEZE. And follow the We Do a Little Pod. That's at We Do a Little Pod on Twitter. Anyway, we will be back tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, between